the 2016 Alumni Awards. Each year, we take nominations for alumni who are outstanding in their field, who represent CSU well in their environment, who give back to CSU or give back to the community. We have several awards, and we had a numerous amount of applications this year and nominations for our alumni. So we're going to go ahead and recognize those people now, and I will read a quick bio. Over here, we have Dr. Hunter, which you all know, and we also have the president of the Alumni Association, Leisha Schmorer. Our first award we will be presenting is the Outstanding Young Alumnus Award. Jonathan Pearson is a 2008 grad. He is the campus pastor at Cornerstone Church in Orangeburg, South Carolina. He is also the creator of the millennialleader.com, the author of Next Up, 8 Shifts Great Young Leaders Make, as well as a conference speaker. His work has been featured on Leadership Now, Pastors.com, Churchleaders.com, and the Carrie Neowolf podcast. He and his wife, Melissa, who is also a graduate, and their son, Riley, currently live in Orangeburg. Please welcome Jonathan Pearson, a 2008 grad, for the Outstanding Young Alumnus Award. Congratulations again, Jonathan. The next award we will be giving out is the Alumnus Service Award. Michael McCann is a 2007 graduate as well as a 2011 graduate. He played football from 2004 to 2008 and was the captain of the team in 2008. He earned a BA in Business Management in 2007 and his MBA in 2011. He spent over 6 years in the furniture industry as the Vice President of Operations for Atlantic Bedding and Furniture, where he hired and mentored other CSU alumni. He left Atlantic Bedding to pursue his dream of writing the book he always wanted to read. So in December of 2015, he published that book, Believe EG 21, Play Like There Is No Tomorrow, the true story of the 2005 CSU football team. You can pick that book up in the bookstore if you'd like. Mike is the vice president of the Buck Club Board of Directors. He has been instrumental in creating the memorial walkway to honor the 2005 championship football team and is donating a percentage of his proceeds from his current book to the Eddie Gadsden Memorial Scholarship. Please welcome Mike McKeon as the Alumnus Service Award winner. Congratulations, Michael. Our next award is the University Mission Award. Marion Wally Baird graduated in '96. He began his teaching career in '97 through the Teach for America program, teaching middle school students in New York, New Jersey, during a critical time in the city's revitalization. After teaching in elementary and middle school classrooms for several years, he became an elementary school assistant principal in 2005 and then a principal in 2009. He's now the proud principal of Knightsville Elementary School and will become the principal of the new Sandhill Elementary School when it opens in the fall. He and his wife, Stephanie, who's also a graduate, have 2 sons and live in Somerville. Congratulate Marion Wally Baird as the University Mission Award winner. At Knightsville Elementary right now, I think Wally told me he has 16 CSU graduates that currently work for him. Daniel Grass is our Outstanding Alumnus of the Year award winner. He cannot be here with us today, but I'll go ahead and introduce them to you guys, and we will have someone accept his award on his behalf. Daniel Grass graduated in 2006 and earned his BS in biochemistry. He won the J.C. Lacey McLean, South Carolina Independent College Student of the Year Award in 2005 and 6, and the John Berry Christian Scholar Award in 2006. He earned a dual MD and PhD from the Medical University of South Carolina in 2014 and won the Distinguished Graduate of the Year Award. His dissertation work focused on identifying novel therapeutic targets to prevent breast cancer. From this research, he was awarded the Department of Defense Breast Cancer Training Grant, as well as 2 pilot grants for MUSC to help translate his research efforts into patient care. He's currently a radiation oncologist resident at the Moffitt Cancer Center and Research Institute in Tampa, Florida. He was recently awarded the spot in the B. Leonard Holman Research Pathway to continue his research endeavors in lung cancer. He hopes to continue his career in academic radiation oncology. He and his wife, Kate, who is also a grad 2 times over, live in Tampa, Florida. Congratulate Daniel Grass.
Got you an honorary medical doctor.
He doesn't know. He doesn't need
Do I have to get this up?
That is not Daniel Grass. That is Clark Carter. Just a heads up.
But I have possession of the trophy.
By reading these bios, I hope you all are inspired that these alumni started where you were maybe several years ago, maybe just a few years ago, but they didn't stop there. They continued to take what they've learned and gained at Charleston Southern University and move forward. I'm now going to introduce Dr. Hunter, who will say a few words to you guys. That's you.
Hey, have any more of those awards? Hey, welcome to everyone, and congratulations to all of you graduates, undergraduate and graduate students. What a blessing it is. What a great day to, and those of you who haven't looked around, just look out here into this cafeteria. We call it now the dining hall. Look out here. Isn't this beautiful? It's gorgeous, isn't it? Now, the nice thing about it, you graduates, you know, you paid for the first original building. Now, the new students will get to pay for this addition. So it's be nice. You'll get to enjoy this and won't have to pay anything for it. But it's a great day. And parents, I know that you're really happy because it'll probably take about 45 years before your children will start sending any money back home. So, you know, so don't go out buying things yet, because they'll have to get themselves established in their lives and try a few things, and just don't spend a lot of time at the mailboxes yet. You know, my wife and I, we're still looking there every time. You know, nothing's coming back yet. Socrates lived a long ago. Socrates was very intelligent. Socrates gave long speeches. His friends poisoned him. So I'm going to be short. They gave me 45 minutes, and I'm not going to take but 35. I want to collectively share with everybody here today what a fantastic job our students and our faculty, our staff, and our coaches are doing. A lot of you you're in and out, and the students work so hard. Many of you work in your classes. You go to work straight after school. You have families, and you really don't ever see and hear the big picture of what your alma mater is all about. You're just kind of trudging every day and trying to make it through and trying to pay your bill and trying to do what you've really set your goals out to do. So today I want to give you just a few seconds about what your alma mater is all about. Now, you know we're big on integrating faith and learning, leading, and serving. Big on that. And you won't appreciate that as much as you do now until you have your own children. And maybe some of you will have grandchildren. And all of a sudden, all the things that you thought were fun and crazy, you'll say, I don't want my children involved in that. I don't want my grandchildren involved in that. I want them to go to somewhere like CSU. Because here's a place where we have a dedicated faculty, a dedicated staff, and dedicated coaches to really try to integrate faith in everything you do. So I salute all of our people. Well, let me tell you what these people have accomplished in the last 10 years. I'm not going to go all 10 years, but over the last 10 years, and graduates right now, you probably don't understand, but you will in a couple of years when you put your school name on your resume and when you hang your diploma up in your office. This is what it's all about. It's all about accreditation. You want your degree to be accredited. You don't want anybody questioning your degree, because after you've worked so hard and you're paying for it and you've paid for it, you want it accredited. We just completed our 10-year reaffirmation of accreditation. In other words, you go through a 10-year period, and there's a big old book of criteria that you study and you try to exceed expectations, and then peers from all over the Southeast, they read your study, they examine you, then they decide how you're doing, and now they send a visiting committee to see it firsthand. They interview students, interview staff, interview faculty. Now let me tell you something, if I had a drum roll back here, this would be a drum roll, because let me tell you what your faculty and your staff and your coaches and everybody has just completed. We just completed our 10-year reaffirmation study, and that means your accreditation approval. The recommendation that we got back from the committee were 0 recommendations. I mean that they didn't find one thing at this university that we needed to improve on. Isn't that something? 0. And again, as you go out into the world, especially of you in education, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. The first thing they look at to see who accredited your school, and did we see anything in the newspaper about it, good or bad? Well, all you're going to see is probably nothing, because in the newspaper they don't report excellent things. And so I'm telling you firsthand, we'll give you a copy of the report if you want to see it, because they got a 0 recommendation. It's unheard of. The committee that came to our school, they told us, and the Southern Association representative says, we don't remember any school that had a perfect visit. We do not remember one, so that's good for you, graduates. Thank you, all of you faculty and staff. Second thing is, our CSU students, collectively, this year have put in 70,000 hours of community service. Salute to you. Now, what's that all about? That's all about not only working hard, and most of our students, they work while they go to school, or they're on an athletic team, which is really work. They're in the band, or they're representing us in churches and places. I mean, they're working all the time. On top of that, on top of that, they go out and put out 70,000 hours of community service. I mean, I just can't tell you how proud I am of you students, and thank you again very much. Okay, you want to clap again for those students? You bet. Okay, couple more items. Only got 1,900 to go here. CSU is just having a record year in everything. I'm not kidding you. Record enrollment, 3,596. Goal is to hit 4,000 by the year 2020, which is just around the curve. I'm positive we're going to exceed those goals. Right, Jim? Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad you agree with me. So we'll exceed those goals. That's not our problem. Our problem is the same problem that I tell every group, every civic group, every church I go to, everybody else. Our number one challenge is student financial aid. We got all the students in the world that want to come here, of every type and size and academic excellence, everything, but we have to have financial aid. So any of you that are going out and you have rich grandparents or whatever, tell them that if they want to see some more people like you coming through Charleston Southern, we need financial aid help, scholarship money. I'm going to ask you to show a hand in here. If anybody in here during your career at CSU, anybody in here get any scholarship or anything, raise your hand. Are you sure you know what I ask, the scholarship? Because my records say 98% of you received scholarship of some sort. They're looking, oh, me? Oh, yeah, it was called athletic scholarship. It's called Christian leadership. It's called academic scholarship. Oh, yeah, oh, those are scholarships? Oh, yeah. Well, you know where those come from? They come from nice donors and people in the South Carolina Baptists that give us $1.3 million every year to help students. So thank you for that. Second thing I want to mention is anybody in nursing here? Yay, look at the nurses. Okay, whether you majored in nursing or not, let me tell you what this group has done for you. You're at a liberal arts university, and the nursing school over the past many years, and of course in the last 5 years, we've tripled the program. And for the last 9 years, the nursing graduates, they have a 96% pass rate on the national exam at the first sitting, So if you go on the website and you look up BSN in nursing, Charleston Southern is the #1 in the state. I won't list the others because it sounds like we're bragging. I am bragging. #1 in the state, and they have been there for several years. Now, what does that have to do if I'm a youth pastor? What does that have to do if I'm a business major? Hey, all of us that study here, we study and take the science courses and all the liberal arts courses, and when you got these people coming out of your institution who are #1 in the state in all the academic area, it makes your diploma worth a lot more. Just like if you're a ministry and you happen to have a successful career, or you happen to be very effective for the Lord, you're representing CSU. So excellence is what it's all about. Moving on. A lot of you have taken online courses. Raise your hand. Look at this. Isn't this something? 2 years ago, hardly anybody had. It's going to get more and more popular. Why? Because most of you work. You work even as an undergraduate. You work. And so you're going to take classes on campus. You're going to take classes online. Our online programs this year was recognized by U.S. World Report. Out of the top 20 in the nation, we're number 17. Do you need another hand? Give yourselves a hand. Okay, now we're down to something that really counts, football. I mean, you know, now we got all that stuff about academics out of the way and, you know, faith-based. Let's talk about football. Does anybody know what happened last year? Well, I don't remember but 2 things, and they said other things happened. I know that we beat the Citadel twice, but other than that, I don't know. And all of our athletic teams, all of you that are on athletic teams, let me tell you what, every single week, every single month, you make us proud, all over the country. And right now, I'm not even sure I could say what's going on with our golf team, but I think they have just done something phenomenal. If you watch on the news and the paper, you'll see our golf team really going to the top of the country. So at the end of what I'm trying to say is congratulations. You are going to continue to make us proud as you go out and to serve in your profession. And we hope that you'll always have a warm, fuzzy place in your heart for CSU. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hunter. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker today. You've probably heard a lot about him because I just introduced him as the Alumnus Service Award winner. Michael McCann has written a book, as you know. He has given back to CSU in so many ways and has not only chosen to say, I've graduated from CSU, but he's chosen to give his time and his speech and talking to people, in mentoring alumni and giving alumni opportunities and giving back financially, all kinds of things, because he took what he learned at CSU and transformed his view of what he's doing and all kinds of things that he'll speak about today. But I want to welcome Michael McCann.
Less than 10 years ago, I sat right where you are today. I was excited and anxious and proud, and more than anything, I was relieved to be eating my last meal in the calf. Not that it was bad, but it was just time for a change. The other feelings lingered around, but that relief faded in about 3 days when I had to start cooking for myself. You'll soon realize that you took the calf, or this is a dining hall, this isn't the calf anymore, that you took it for granted. I didn't realize at the time, but my experiences at CSU would have a direct impact on every aspect of my 20s. I wore blue and gold as a member of the football program here. The relationships I built from that experience have lasted more than a decade. My first job out of college was with a furniture company. I was employee number 1. As the company grew, my boss asked me if I knew any other guys like me who needed a job. I said, sure, I know about 90 of them. Eventually, I recruited over 40 people to come work with me at the furniture company. I recruited football players, baseball players, business students, communication students, kinesiology students, and even a few MBA students throughout my 6.5-year career. Some moved on, but some are still there today as owners of their own furniture empires. I couldn't take full credit for every relationship that I had built, so I decided to thank the place that allowed me to and even encouraged me to make those relationships, Charleston Southern. I began to get involved with the school that had given me so much, including a scholarship, an education, and lifelong friendships. You see, to me, getting involved with the school was a very easy decision. I planned to attend every football game that year to support my friends still on the team and my coaches. I was told that if I gave a certain amount, I could get a parking spot with my name on it, so that was the only thing that I needed. I made my first donation to CSU as an undergraduate alum while I was working on my MBA, and I became a member of the Buck Club and the board of directors my first year out of school, and I've been a part of both organizations every year since. Every time I step on campus, I'm filled with joy, knowing that even in a small way, my contributions have helped to make this school mature into what it is today. When I was a student, I couldn't imagine what this place would look like 10 years later. As I stand before you today, I'm proud to see what this university has become and impressed with the character of the students that are coming out of here. I hope that you get to experience the same pride and satisfaction of funding scholarships, helping build buildings, and equipping the school for future generations of students. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to rewind to set the scene for CSU when I first stepped foot on campus back in 2004. With a short story. The Christian Leadership Building didn't exist. The newest wing of the College of Nursing building was a patch of grass. The Science Building was a construction zone. And the new field house was just a twinkle in Hank Small's eye. The scoreboard for the football team that I just joined was, well, it had missing light bulbs and faded green paint, so it was underwhelming. The football program wasn't what it is today. In 2004, we won 5 games, and we lost 5 games. We were 500. It was the first non-losing season in school history. Everyone on campus thought that was great, everybody except for the football team. The next year, we set our sights on having the first winning season in school history. We worked vigorously through the winter and finished the spring semester very strong. We sweated and competed and put in extra time, and we made sure everyone got eligible because that was going to be our year. But just a few weeks before our season began, tragedy struck. It was a car accident. The young man's name was Eddie Gadsden. It was an emotional time to be a Buccaneer, but the faith of the people of this institution helped turn our loss into God's glory. We kicked and clawed and fought, and we eventually got that first winning season. We dedicated every game that year to our teammate Eddie. In the last game of the season, against a bitter rival, Coastal Carolina, in double overtime on the spot, our coaches spray-painted EG-21 on that field for Eddie. We won the first conference championship this school had ever seen in football. It was a feat so difficult it took 10 years to repeat. That season was so important to me that I was led to write a book about it. Even though it sounds like something you'd see on ESPN, the national media never picked up our story. So I thought, who better than to write it than someone who lived it? Now, not everyone's stories involve trophies or even sports for that matter. I understand that. But I guarantee you what's happened over the last 2 to 5 years will stick with you for a lifetime. That's just my story. What's yours? How have you been affected by CSU? Did you find your faith for the first time? Not the one your parents gave you, but your faith. Did you make friends who would walk over hot coals for you? Did you take a course that changed your worldview? Maybe you found your life's calling here. Maybe you were the first in your family to graduate college. Whatever your experience, I want to encourage you not to put your CSU narrative behind you. Embrace it and let it shine through the work that you do and the person that you become. You may not have a book inside you, but everyone can take a CSU tumbler to work with them. Everyone can show school pride. Everyone can purchase a brick around the reflection pond. Everyone is welcome back for homecoming weekend each year. And everyone can wear a CSU gear on Fridays instead of one of the other state schools around here. Wear your blue and gold with pride. In closing, I want to leave you with one thing I wish I would have been told when I was in your seats. Persevere. You see, everything is great right now, and you should be savoring these moments because you worked hard and you deserve it. But when this excitement fades and you begin your life after CSU, you will face trials you can't begin to imagine. They may not be tomorrow, and they may not be in the first year or even 2, but they will come. Jobs will be difficult. You might even get fired. Persevere. You'll lose some friends, and relationships will change. Persevere. You'll be separated from your family and your comfort zone. Persevere. You may even have to wake up before 8 a.m. Persevere. James 1:2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." I can't change that you want to leave this place, nor do I blame you. But I hope you'll come back to visit to see the changes our alma mater continues to make. And I hope you'll get involved so other people can have the opportunity to be a Buccaneer like you and me. Charleston Southern University is a special place, and its graduates, like the ones sitting in this room, are what make it so. Thank you, Charleston Southern University, for everything you've done for me, and congratulations to the class of 2016. Go Bucks.
Thank you, Michael. The next thing we're going to do is have a little greeting from the graduate school. If you guys don't know Warren Pepper, you should.
Hi, it's good to be seen. And thank you for all that you've done and already have meant to this university. And I just want to share a couple of things with you. I know there are probably 2 things that most graduates are thinking here today. Number 1, where did the time go? And number 2, thank you, Lord, I went to chapel enough that I can graduate. I heard a thank you, Jesus, over here, as a matter of fact. I hope you're proud of the education you got, and I hope you're proud of the place you got it. I want to spend just a second or two, I've been in this job now a little over a year, and just talk to you a bit about the things that we've tried to do and the people who have impacted what's been done here in the last year. I come from a world very different from the academic world. I came from a real-time world of television news and worked in sports and television on the nightly news for more decades than anybody here cares to know. 40, actually, but sometimes it just blurts out. So what I wanted to do as director of the graduate school this year was really think a little bit outside the box a bit on how we can just elevate ourselves in terms of visibility and the focus of the grad school, especially in an area that still doesn't understand there are master's programs available at Charleston Southern University. And one of the things we did back during March Madness was put a TV promo together that aired during those basketball games. I wanted to get our message in front of as many young adult eyeballs as possible. And I heard an interesting story about the national championship game that was airing between Villanova and North Carolina. And John Davis, a campus pastor, was telling me he was watching that game that night with other students, and the game's closely contested. And during a timeout, all of a sudden, up pops a CSU commercial. He said the room erupted. Guys were high-fiving each other. People were chest bumping and everything. And that's CSU right in the middle of North Carolina and Villanova. It validated them. It made them think what they're doing is also significant. And that was a real pleasure to hear. And I thank John for sharing that with me. Dr. Hunter's already shared some of the highlights in the past year, both athletically and academically, and let me just touch on one or two of those that I also found noteworthy. He mentioned the number 17 ranking of online graduate education. I dug a little deeper this week on that particular topic. Yeah, we were 17th, but to give you a little frame of reference, they surveyed 1,200 universities and colleges around the country for this survey. We were 17th, just ahead of us, University of Florida. Behind us, Florida State, Oklahoma University, and there's Charleston Southern right in there, ahead of those very prestigious universities. We had record enrollment this past year. 100 students had to stay in the first few weeks of the first semester off campus in hotels. Where else can you go to college and get your bed made every day and your room cleaned? I mean, come on. And he mentioned some of the athletic events. It felt more like football outside this morning when I walked out than May. But I'm going to tell you that second round playoff game with Charleston Southern and Citadel was one of the best atmospheres in small college football you will ever see. That was some event on this campus that day last fall when Charleston Southern won again over those guys from downtown. And so I'll mention a couple of other athletic events just because I'm still so closely connected in that regard, even though I do mostly other things here on campus. But these are guys from minor sports that you may not have heard much about. There's a young man on our track team named Braxton Drummond. Yeah. Let me tell you what he did a month ago. At the University of Miami track meet, he goes in a long jump. Now, that's not the triple jump, that's long jump. That's a running start where you leave one point and you land somewhere over here. He jumped 8.1 meters, which is the longest jump registered this year in college track and field. Now, I never learned to make conversions from metrics to yards, so that is 26.5 feet. The longest jump this year in college track and field. I walked in here yesterday and measured from here to here. From this step over here to this step over here is 23 feet. He went 3.5 feet beyond that, and because of that jump, he's been invited to the U.S. Olympic trials this summer and will wear CSU across this chest. If he's one of the 3 in the Olympic trials, he'll go to Brazil and represent us and our country at the Olympics, but he'll be at the Olympic trials. And then Dr. Hunter mentioned the golf team. I just want to make a brief mention of them because just yesterday, they were selected as an at-large team to the NCAA golf playoffs. Now, that's a significant event because a small school doesn't get an at-large bid. Those are usually reserved for schools in larger conferences. They'll be going to Tuscaloosa in another week and a half or so, and we'll compete against 5 different SEC schools. College of Charleston, Kansas as well will be there. And they've got a young man on their team named Austin James from Canada. The interesting part about his story, he's got grandparents in Florence. He and his dad were on I-95 looking for colleges, and they decided to get off on I-26. The first school they see on the interstate says Charleston Southern University. He says, let's go see what they're doing. He walks into the coach's office, sees if they've got any opportunities for somebody from Canada to play golf. That's not usually the most fertile ground for golfing recruiting. And he is the Big South Player of the Year this year and will lead this team to Tuscaloosa in about a week and a half. And I'm going to share one other story with you about 2 other people that I ran into on this campus just a few weeks ago. I bet many of you have seen them as you go to class. Well, maybe not so many of you because you wouldn't have gone to class that early in many cases in your senior year. But I saw from a distance one day a gentleman pushing a girl in a wheelchair. Every class, in and out. Up on the 2nd floor, he would take her to the bathroom, take her back to class. He'd stay in the class with her. I finally went up and introduced myself. The gentleman's name was Bill Walsh. His daughter's name was Caroline. Bill's 74, Caroline's 19. Bill is a transplant and Caroline from New Jersey. He had 4 biological children, and when they were grown and gone, he and his wife adopted 4 more. Caroline was a drug baby, born with cerebral palsy, confined to a wheelchair. They transplanted to Charleston because he had a grandson attending the Citadel. That's what their first exposure to the Low Country was all about. So I began to talk to them and find more about their story, and every question I asked seemed to get a more intriguing answer. She took 16 hours this past semester in the fall, took another 16 hours this semester, and has a 3.4 GPA in her first year at CSU. I asked her what led her to Charleston Southern. She's a very glib young lady, and she said there were 2 things. Number 1, it's flat. I find that an interesting observation, but if you've spent your life in a wheelchair, that means something. She says, it's flat. And I said, well, what else brought you here? She said, everywhere I went, people I didn't even know opened the door for me. There's a sermon right there, folks. I would gather that folks in this room have had doors opened for them somewhere along the way in your journey to this graduation moment tomorrow. You're going to have opportunities to open doors for others along the way after graduation. I'll just conclude with these thoughts. I don't care how much creative marketing or out-of-the-box thinking, advertising, we come up with ways to tell the story here at CSU. Nobody can tell CSU's story better than its own graduates. You're really the billboards for this place. And how you handle yourself as you go into a workplace is a testament and a testimony, if you will, to how things are done on this campus. You're the best advertisement we have. I'll wrap with this. After being in television for as lengthy a time as I was, it's not unusual for people to notice who you are and sometimes come up to you, but not always know quite how to say things. They get a little anxious. And I'm in Walmart not too many months ago, and I can feel this woman over here kind of eyeballing me, but I'm not so sure if she's going to approach me, so I just kind of keep moving. I move around the counter, and here she comes. So I figure I'll go ahead and get this done, and I look at her, and we establish eye contact. I said, "Hi, how are you?" She says, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." She said, "Didn't you used to be somebody?" Well, there's no great answer to that. If you say yes, then you say, "Well, I guess I was." If you say no, then you never were. So I'll just leave you with this. As a CSU grad, you are somebody. You are somebody. And how you carry yourself speaks to that. I used to always tell my kids before they left the house, don't forget who you are. I don't want you to forget who you are and what you've been through here at CSU. If you end up getting a grad school master's degree, then you really be somebody. And we'll appreciate that business as well. But thank you for your time. Congratulations on your accomplishments, and good luck as you walk tomorrow at graduation day. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Warren. Goodness. The last person that is going to come speak to you guys today before you head out to the rehearsal is going to be Leisha S'more. She is a 2000 grad and is currently the president of the Alumni Association here at Charleston Southern.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, especially the graduates. This time of year has always been a special time for me since 2000 when I graduated in Lightseas Chapel. I don't know if many of you have seen the movie called Inside Out. I have grandchildren, so they always invited me into the family room to watch videos with them, and I enjoy it anyhow. But the essence of the movie deals with this little girl named Riley, and it anchors on the idea of exploring Riley's mind and her thoughts, but it also pinpoints how she is to grow and have these core memories. And I have 3 core memories. The first is the April 9th memory of me becoming a Christian and giving my life to Christ. And the second is March the 9th, and that's the day I gave birth to my daughter back in 1988. But one of those other memories is the December 20th when I graduated from Charleston Southern. And Charleston Southern holds a very special place in my heart because I came through as a single parent, working a job that I had to travel throughout the state. And so it was pretty hard, but just like I was telling the young lady at our table, what really helped me get through it was such great professors that I had. And along with that, I had the privilege of converting the prayer chapel into my nap chapel. So many times I had to go from work to school, and I got maybe an hour nap there, so it was very peaceful. But today I want to say to you graduates that, Jeremiah 29:11 says that God knows He has the plans for our lives. And those plans are for us to good thoughts and not evil, to give us an expected end. So I say that to you guys, knowing that God's already got your future mapped out. He knows your next move. And He's blessing that because His word said He would never let His word come back empty or unaccomplished. So just know and be prayerful about everything that you do. But always keep Charleston Southern in your heart because the Bible also says, and I'm paraphrasing, that when we accomplish goals and different things in our lives, that we ought to reach back and help others. So someone has helped you, whether it be a board of visitors, whether it be an alumni scholarship, someone has helped you. So reach back now and help someone else coming through, whether it be a freshman or an upcoming senior. So you might think a little don't go a lot of ways, but as a group, if everybody give $5, just think how that measures up and adds up. So I say to you today, congratulations. Don't forget about the association. We're here for you. If you need anything, Ms. Rebecca is always ready to help. She has been a wonderful director for us, and I commend her on letting us as members of the board do what we need to do in order to help others grow and glow. Thank y'all so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. I want to thank you all for attending today. I want to thank the parents and family members who came to attend today. I hope that you guys were so encouraged by our keynote speaker, Michael McCann. Like I said before, the book that he wrote, the story that he lived, those are in the bookstore. Feel free to contact me if you'd like to get in contact with him. Like I said, I'm here as the Alumni Association Director, so I'm here for you as you guys take your next steps. I do want to go ahead and remind you that you do have graduation rehearsal next door in the chapel, and so you will need to head there. If you would like to purchase your bricks, your parents can do that at the table out there for $20.16. Let's just give another round of applause for our award winners and what they're doing. And you guys have a great day. Thank you.